Okay, so please everybody participate in the question answers. Okay, that a madam asked in the beginning of the class. Okay, such that it will act as a revision. Okay, so revision for you. Anyways, this Sunday. Okay, so you will be having the test on tissues, and today we'll be completing the chapter. Okay, and for so many days, even Srinidhi ma'am as well as Janvi ma'am. Okay, so before I start the class, they always do a little bit of question answering sessions. Okay, so just to check if you have understood the topic or not, as well as the revision. I believe this is more than sufficient, and madam has already done in text question answers discussion as well. Okay, so all this you can consider this as a revision itself. Okay, so once I complete the topic today, so we're going to start a new chapter finally. Okay, it's been so long. Okay, so we have been stuck with tissues for so many days. Okay, so today we will get moksha from tissues. Okay, so on your screen now. Okay, so I'm going to show you today's game plan. No, today's class structure. Okay, so no game plan. Today's class structure. Okay, so this is the class structure. So what all things we have for today. Okay, so I had written this yesterday itself. Okay, the September 21st as well as 22nd. So we have to complete the following things. Okay, so we are almost to the end of epithelial tissue. Okay, so after epithelial tissue, the last tissue that we have to learn is the nervous tissue. So once we complete this, then we can do the summary of the entire animal tissue. Along with that, we can just quickly start a new chapter. Okay, so this is the plan for today's class. Okay, and before I start the class, so I just wanted to show you this. So about this we'll discuss. Okay, so at the end of the class. Okay, so what is that? So I'm going to show you. Okay, so surprisingly, okay, I got to know something so regarding Kit Kat. Okay, for so many years together. So this is the Kit Kat. Okay, so that I have seen and I have tasted. Okay, so at some point of somebody's life, you would have liked Kit Kat. I also like Kit Kat long ago. Now my chocolate, my favorite chocolate has been Crispello for a couple of years. Okay, so but I liked Kit Kat some time ago. Okay, so now the Kit Kat is having a lot of other flavors as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you something amazing about Kit Kat. Okay, so it's like a wonderful chocolate. If you like Kit Kat, then after watching this video, you will like Kit Kat even more. Okay, so what is it that I'm going to show you about Kit Kat? So I will tell you later once I finish the chapter. Okay, so today I got to finish epithelial tissue, along with that the nervous tissue. Okay, so in yesterday's class, so we were discussing about the types of epithelial tissue. Okay, so we have learned about the squamous. Okay, the squamous epithelial tissue, which is of two types. Okay, so you have simple squamous and you also have stratified squamous. Okay, these are the two types of squamous epithelial tissue that we learned. And after this, we also learned about the next type of epithelial tissue, that is columnar epithelial tissue. And a special version of columnar epithelial tissue is your ciliated columnar epithelial tissue. Okay, the one which has cilia or the hair-like structures on its surface. Okay, and next after this, so we just got started with cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, so now after this we have the last type. Okay, so we have the last type of epithelial tissue, so that is glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, so we'll just quickly see this glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, and then we move on to the other things. Okay, so the positive thought and all that, so we will again do it later. So Kunal is asking, so Kaima. So Kunal, if you check it out, the notes, we have done Kaima. So I have shown you about lotus, about 1,000 petal lotus also have shown. Okay, so we have done all modified versions of parenchyma. Okay, the chlorenchyma, arenchyma, everything we have done. You please check the notes before complaining or before accusing. You please check the notes. Okay. So the next one, okay, so what we have is the last type of epithelial tissue. Okay, so that is our glandular epithelial tissue. So what is that? So let us check it out. The last type of epithelial tissue. Okay, so not only for Kunal, for everybody else also. So before you please point out something, you first check from your side. Okay, whether it is there or not. Okay, so verify 2 times and then you ask. Okay, everything what is there I have covered more than what is required also. Okay, so you please verify from your side 2 times. Okay, so before asking. Okay, so humble request. So the last type what we have is the glandular epithelial tissue. So I'm just going to write the topic. So glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, so what is so special so about this glandular epithelial tissue? As the name indicates, okay, so these are there in your glands. Okay, so which release hormones. Okay, in your 8th standard, I hope you would have learned about hormones. Okay, how many of you know about hormones? Okay, which you learned in your previous classes. Okay, regarding hormones, the chemical coordination, so different types of hormones present in our body. Okay, so very good. So if you haven't learned, don't worry. Again, in 10th standard, you will learn about the hormones as well as the glands. Okay, exocrine glands, endocrine glands, all this. Okay, so now you just have to consider the fact that in glandular epithelial tissue, okay, so it helps in the secretion of the hormones. Okay, if you do not know about glands, I will tell you about glands also. Okay, but first, so let's talk about its function. So it to secrete helps to secrete hormones and other important substances. Hormones and other important chemicals, or I just write substances. Okay, so for that to happen, so basically the gland cells should be formed in this tissue. Okay, so what are these gland cells? Okay, so these gland cells are nothing but the folded, okay, the folded type of our cuboidal epithelial tissue itself. Okay, I'm just going to write here. So the gland cells are formed. So this is formed due to the folding. Okay, how is that? I'm going to show the picture also. Due to the inward folds in the cuboidal cells. So which are present, of course, in our cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, so once they fold, so they will turn out into a secreting area. Okay, so that is your gland. Okay, so I'm going to show the video also, so that it will help you in understanding it easily. Okay, so this is the special version, the special task, okay, so performed by the cuboidal epithelial itself. Okay, after folding, so it becomes your glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, and performs a new function. So the next one, for those who do not know about glands, I'll just write the meaning of glands. Okay, so what are these glands? Okay, so glands are nothing but the structures present in our body. Okay, so which release the hormones. Okay, so there are 2 types of glands. Okay, so you have your exocrine glands and you have your endocrine glands. Okay, so first I'll mention, so glands release hormones. So these hormones help in the chemical coordination, which help in the chemical coordination of our body. In the chemical coordination of the body. Okay, so there are two types of glands, exocrine glands and endocrine glands. So which again you will learn in detail in 10th standard, chapter number 8, control and coordination. Okay, so now this much is sufficient. Okay, and some of you are asking, so is this glandular epithelial tissue a special type of cuboidal epithelial tissue? Yes, of course, a special type doing a special function. Okay, so the glandular epithelial tissue, as you can see, is formed because of the inward folds, okay, of the cuboidal cells of your cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, and once the folding is done, you have a new type, so that is your glandular epithelial tissue. You can consider this as another part itself. Okay, because it performs a different function, completely different from your cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, that is why we have considered this under a new category, under a new subtopic. I did not put this under the same topic as cuboidal epithelial, because once the glandular epithelial tissue is formed, it performs a new function. Okay, it has a new responsibility, and it is completely different from cuboidal epithelial tissue. That is why a new subtopic. So what are the examples? So what are the examples? So let's quickly note down the examples. So all the glands that you remember, okay, so all those are examples of your glandular epithelial tissue. So like your salivary glands, so your mucus glands, okay, your pancreas, okay, etc., everything. Okay, so you can add on to all that. Okay, so this is all about your glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, so with this, so we have done all the four types, okay, of epithelial tissue you see in the beginning. So we had written about epithelial tissue. So we will quickly have a full flow chart, a summary flow chart about the epithelial tissue. Okay, so that you remember, so what is different types, what are the different types of epithelial tissue. So I'll make a quick flow chart. Okay, as usual, for every topic, I have made the flow chart. Okay, and it's good to see that some of you have also sent the flow chart. Okay, so I forgot to show the other day. Okay, so I'll just show you now before I forget again. Okay, yes. So these are the few flow chart. Okay, as you can see from Anupam, Swayam, as well as Kunal. Okay, so like very nice. So they have done the flow charts. Okay, so good handwriting. So Anupama. Okay, so next Swayam. Okay, so it's slightly tilted. You also tilt your head like this and watch. Okay, and next Kunal. Okay, so all this are the flow chart sent by your classmates. Okay, this is again Anupama. Okay, so see, next time if you send the flow chart, no, so please write your name also. You simply send the flow chart. I have no clue who you are. Okay, so please send along with the flow chart your name. Sir, this is Prakash, or whatever your name is. Okay, this is Prakash, class 9th. Okay, flow chart. Like that, you please send. If you simply send flow chart, what should I think who you are? Okay, so please give the complete information. Okay, so along with this, so this is Dia's flow chart. Okay, so very nice. So color. So I like the commitment. Okay, so very good. So apart from this, this is yes flow chart. Okay, he had sent this long time ago when he was doing revision of this chapter, when he was studying about this chapter. Okay, so this has full complete. Of course, it's little hard to see. Okay, so small handwriting just like mine. Okay, but anyways, so this is complete chapter flow chart, full animal, plant, everything. Okay, so and also along with this, so Aditya. Okay, this is Aditya's flow chart. Okay, so very nice. So many of you have sent the flow chart. Okay, very good. I showed the other day. Okay, so this is all the flow charts which you have already seen. Okay, I have also told their names in special appreciation. Okay, so but just make sure, okay, that you also do the activity given by Srinidhi madam. Okay, so and also I will put the Google form. You can put it in our project itself. I will tell about project later. First, I let us complete the topic. Okay, so now a summary of our epithelial tissue. Okay, so what are the different types of epithelial tissue? So let us quickly make a chota sa flow chart. Okay, so I'm going to divide it into 4 categories. Okay, so we'll also mention some important information so about all these 4 categories. Okay, so starting with squamous epithelial tissue. So next columnar epithelial tissue, then cuboidal epithelial tissue, and last glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, so you can just consider these 4 types. Okay, and next, under squamous epithelial tissue, so you have 2 types. You have simple squamous and you have stratified squamous. Okay, simple squamous, and this is stratified squamous. Okay, and what is the main function about the squamous? So I'm just gonna mention here the squamous epithelial tissues. So job is first, as usual, so the protection. So along with that, it is also present in those areas, okay, so where you have your transportation taking place. Okay, so in the places of rapid transportation, okay, so you have the squamous. Okay, so next, so regarding columnar, okay, so we have this special type of ciliated columnar tissue. Okay, so again, the function, so over your columnar, ciliated columnar, or in general, so columnar tissue, so is to help you in absorption and secretion. Okay, so minimum absorption and secretion. So in those areas, so we have columnar or ciliated columnar. So ciliated columnar helps in the movement of the particles as well. So that is special type. Okay, so coming to cuboidal. Okay, coming to cuboidal. So of course, a special type of cuboidal is glandular. Okay, but we have mentioned glandular separately. Okay, so I'll just write about cuboidal. Its function, that is to provide support, okay, to provide strength or support. And the last one, so regarding glandular, so it helps in secretions, okay, that is related to glands or hormones. Okay, so that is your glandular epithelial tissue. Okay, so all of this, if they are present in single layer, so we call them as simple. If they are present in multiple layers, we call them as stratified. So depending on the location and the number of layers it is present, okay, you can also have a simple version of all of this or a stratified version. Okay, so this is all about your epithelial tissue. Okay, so that is the 4 types of epithelial tissue, as well as some other special versions. Okay, so this is about epithelial. So now I want to show you something. Okay, how many of you want to become doctor? How many of you want to become doctor? You can click on the yes icon. Okay, those who are interested in becoming a doctor or to pursue medical field. Okay, so medical field, you can click on the yes icon. Okay, if you want to see yourself as a doctor or in related to medical field, you can click on the yes icon. So those whoever want to become a doctor, because I'm going to show you something, okay, which will definitely will again make you think if you really want to be a doctor or not. Okay, so on your screen now.
And the most prominent feature here.
Okay, so what you I'm just going to stop over there. Okay, can't see more. Okay, so anyways, okay, for those who are wondering, okay, that is a real brain. Okay, so do not think, okay, that is some uh, sponge, or that is some model. Okay, that is no model. Okay, this is a real human brain. So if you have to learn, if you want to become a doctor, so you should definitely know about all this. Okay, so when you join medical school in the first year, okay, so they will definitely teach you everything about human anatomy in detail. Okay, so you see, this is a very big video. So for understanding how the brain works, okay, so you have to do all this. Okay, so anyways, the reason why I told you this is we're coming to the next topic, that is the nervous tissue. Okay, so nervous tissue, the combination of the nervous tissues, okay, together form your nervous system. Okay, and your brain, spinal cord, as well as nerves, they all are, be a part of your nervous system. Okay, so since we are not dealing with organ system, we are just learning about the nervous tissue. Okay, so let us see what all amazing stuff our nerves perform. Okay, so and how important it is. Okay, so I'm going to mention here the topic, okay, of nervous tissue. Okay, the last topic of the chapter. So the nervous tissue. Okay, so first, you should know what is the job, okay, or what is the function or the responsibility of this nervous tissue. So I'm gonna write here. So the major, okay, function of the nervous tissue is to respond to the stimuli. Okay, so to interact and respond to the stimulus. Okay, so interaction and response to stimulus. Okay, so you might have seen when you keep your hand on a hot, cooker, or on a hot plate. So before you even realize, okay, so your hand automatically comes back. Okay, so you might have noticed about such reflex reactions. Okay, so as I told about my childhood, okay, having some amazing worst friends. Okay, so you see those friends, what do they do? Okay, so they always want to trouble you. Okay, and hence while playing or while doing other things, they just chuma do chamak. Okay, how many of you know chamak? Okay, you can click on the yes icon. Okay, how many of you know chamak? Most of the boys should be aware. Girls, I don't know, man. Okay, but boys, you should be aware. Okay, so they suddenly do action. Okay, like that. For example, so they will throw the ball at you, but they won't throw. They just do the action of throwing the ball on your face. Okay, and now if your reflex is quick, okay, either you will try to cover your face or you try to bend, depends on your reflex. Okay, so now all these reflex reactions, okay, is all because of our nerves, okay, the coordination present among them. Okay, and the entire nervous system, okay, which is comprising of our nervous tissue, so helps in response, okay, and the entire control and coordination of our body. Okay, so I'm going to write the next point: helps in control, helps in control and coordination of body. Okay, so you see, for example, so in my mind, so I thought of doing like this. Okay, so my mind generated the signal. Okay, it sent to my hand along with my fingers to do this action. Okay, and it did this action because of the help of my nerves. Okay, because of which the message got transmitted and my body part, okay, responded to that message sent by my brain. So suppose my brain thought of doing like this, but instead of doing this, my leg came up. Okay, so that is a complete mismatch. My brain is thinking something, but my body is reacting in a other way. Okay, so that is a complete mismatch. Okay, so which will not happen if your nervous system is proper enough. Okay, so the nervous system comprising of nervous tissue so helps in entire control and coordination of our body. It's a beautifully so coordinated performance of your brain, spinal cord, as well as the nerves. Okay, so I'm going to mention here about something called the nervous system. So when you come to 10th standard, as I told you, chapter number 8, control and coordination. So you will learn everything in detail about brain, spinal cord, and nerves. So along with this, you will also learn about the glands, okay, the hormones and everything. It's a beautiful chapter, okay. But anyways, so for 9th standard, they just want you to know about neurons or the nerves, okay. So I'll first write here about the components of your nervous system, so which is your brain, then spinal cord, and as well as your nerves, okay, or your nervous tissue. Okay, so the next important thing, so you should be aware. So I'll come to neurons. Okay, I'll come to neurons. Okay, so it has nervous tissue, so which is comprised of neurons or nerve cells. Okay, so how do they perform or how do they operate? Okay, so they send electric impulses, okay, or they send electric signals so throughout our body. It's like very beautiful. So the next point I'm going to mention, so they send information or they transmit information in the form of electric signals. Okay, they transmit information. Okay, it is both to and fro. Okay, they send information to the brain, and the brain will again think about it and send back the information. So it's to and fro information being transmitted in the form of electric signals, or you can call it as electric impulses. Okay, in the form of electric impulses or signals. Okay, so I will draw the diagram as well as show you all the components of neurons. Okay, so here there's a very important word called synapse. Okay, so you will come across this again later. So I'll just add on as an extra point for synapse. Okay, so this is the gap which is present between two neurons. Okay, every neuron is connected to other neuron, but surprisingly there's a gap. Okay, there's a gap between them. It's not that they are just attached next to each other. Okay, so there is a gap between them. Of course everybody is connected, okay, but there is a gap. Okay, and that is fantastic how the information is transferred in that gap. Okay, so which is synapse. I'm going to show you the synapse, okay, between the neurons, where chemical signals where chemical signals are sent. Okay, so this is the surprising factor. So even though we have electric signals only in that gap, so you have synapse, okay, where you have your chemical signals being used in those gaps only. Okay, so amazing concept. So in detail you will learn in 10th standard. Okay, now I will show you about the neuron as well as the synapse. Okay, so this is your neuron. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so as you can see that light or the flashing what is there. Okay, so that is your electric impulse or the electric signal. Okay, so this is just one neuron. Okay, but how is it connected to so many other neurons? Okay, I'm going to show you that. So neuron. synapse. Okay. Okay, so suppose this is the nerve ending of one of the neuron, and that the next one, you can consider it as the dendrite of the next neuron. Okay, so it is not a continuous connection. So there's a discrete. Okay, so there's a gap. There's a small gap in between them. So in that gap, okay, the chemical signals are transferred, and everything is bloody so fast, it's so quick, okay, beyond your imagination. Okay, so regarding the synapse, okay, I hope you will learn about this later. Okay, but anyways, you should be aware of how the neuron works. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you this video about the nervous tissue, and then we look into the neurons. Back. So, how many of you were listening to this amazing video? Okay, so there's a lot of information. Okay, so which was given in this video, but do not worry. To the next neurons, dendrites. Okay, but in between, so there's a small gap. Okay, so between the two neurons, okay, there's a small gap.
impulse set
So over there, so you have this amazing thing called so synapse. Okay, so which is working, which you will understand in 10th standard. Okay, but know the word synapse. Okay, so what is that? It is the gap between the first neuron and the second neuron. Every neuron, so there's a gap, okay, between the neurons. Okay, so now after this, you should also know about the labeling of the diagram. So I'll draw the diagram, okay, which is relevant for your 9th standard. Okay, so pakka, they will ask you to draw the diagram of neuron. Okay, this is the most common question. Okay, so which they'll ask. Okay, and try to draw the horizontal version, because I've seen many people, okay, many students who draw the vertical version. Okay, so try to draw the horizontal version. Okay, it's better in labeling as well as better understanding. Okay, so suppose you see these are my nerve endings. Okay, so like this. So suppose these are all my nerve endings. Okay, so now I'll take this. Okay, and this becomes my axon, and I'll connect it to my cell body. Okay, so and I do my dendrites. And of course, you can do much other branching, everything out here. So mention the nucleus, and also so show your myelin sheath, okay, on your axon like this. And there you go. Do not forget to label the diagram. So I'll just make it little better. Okay, so nice. Overall, now we can label the diagram. So I'll just mention this as the nerve ending. So this entire thing is my axon. So this is my myelin sheath, SHEATH. Okay, so the brown color stuff. So what I did, okay, and these are my dendrites. So this center one is my nucleus. Okay, the middle one you call it as soma. Okay, so which you will learn later. Okay, so next you have your cell body, this entire thing, and then afterwards, so do not forget to make sure that you write this is a nerve or a neuron. Okay, so overall, this much, if you can do the labeling, okay, that is more than sufficient. So in your textbook, a very good diagram is given. So please practice the diagram. Okay, So this was about your nervous tissue. So in the exam, so they'll just ask you about the nerve, okay, the diagram as well as the definition of the nerve, the neuron, okay, and just remember the functions as well. Okay, so this is about your complete nervous tissue. Okay, so now we'll quickly write about our animal tissue. Okay, so we'll write about a complete animal tissue, that is full summary of the entire animal tissue. Okay, so that we have studied, and then we can do a quick revision. Okay, and then wind off the chapter finally. Okay, so if you understood about this nervous tissue, you can click on the yes icon. So if you understood about the nervous tissue. Okay, so as I mentioned, you will learn in detail about the nervous tissue. There's a separate chapter itself in 10th standard. So where you learn in depth. Okay, so now you just have to know the diagram. So as well as about neuron. Okay, that's all. Okay, so now real quick, so we'll do the complete summary of the entire animal tissue, and I'll show you the entire animal tissue summary video. Okay, so animal tissue. So this is the full flow chart of animal tissue. Okay, so now who can tell me how many categories are there in the classification of animal tissue? Animal tissue is categorized into how many parts? So very nice. Okay, some of you have already sent me the answer. So who was quickest? Samruddhi was quickest to answer. Okay, so Samruddhi, then Pranamya, then Vinayak. Okay, so Krishna, please check your answer. Okay, then Dia, Tanisha, everybody else. Okay, so there are four parts. So there are four parts. So connective tissue, then muscular tissue, and then epithelial tissue, and last your nervous tissue. Okay, very nice. So each of them, okay, so each of them perform their specific function. Okay, so I'll write here, its job is to connect. Okay, so all the connecting things has been done by your connective tissue, as the name indicates. Okay, so muscular tissue so helps in movement, so as well as the locomotion. Okay, so epithelial tissue is basically for protection. Okay, and nervous tissue is to transmit the signals, okay, for the communication, for control and coordination. Okay, so these are the functions, okay, so performed by the specific animal tissues. Okay, so now again going on into the subdivisions. So how many types of connective tissue do we have? So Pranamya was quickest to answer, 7 types. Okay, so Pranamya, Priyanka, then Dia, and everyone. Okay, so as I told you, so we have a separate technique, okay, so to mention about the 7 types. If you remember, so I had told you how to write about this connective tissue, the 7 types. So who can tell me the cheat code or the trick that I had told to remember about the 7 types of connective tissue? Okay, so very good. So very nice. So Sneha remembers, Samruddhi remembers. Okay, so Shri Krishna, Swayam, everyone. Okay, it's very nice, man. Okay, so you remember A, B, C, D. Okay, two times you write double A, double B. So then C, T, L. Okay, so just like IPL, so you have CTL. Okay, and surprisingly, yesterday, so RCB won. Okay, so I really did not expect that. Okay, so RCB won the first match. Okay, so Isala Cup Namde. Okay, yesterday after seeing them, I realized this is a, having a new, okay, so new Josh in the team. Okay, I think they're gonna have redemption. Okay, RCB might come to the playoff also this year. Okay, so looks very nice. Okay, so especially the new opener. Okay, so Abhishek Devdutt. Okay, so a new guy. Okay, so very good to see RCB performing. Okay, so anyways, so coming back. Okay, so coming back to our connective tissue. So the first one, so we can write this as our adipose. So adipose connective tissue. Okay, so next areolar connective tissue, and next you have bone connective tissue, blood connective tissue. Okay, and then cartilage, and tendons, and last ligament. Okay, so all these are subdivisions of our connective tissue. Okay, so now similarly in our muscular tissue, so how many types of muscular tissue is there? Very nice. We have three types. So the first one is the striated or the skeletal muscles. The second one is our smooth muscle, and the last one is our cardiac muscle. Okay, so these are the three types. So the next one, so what we have is epithelial, so which we just now finished the four types of epithelial tissue. Okay, so the epithelial tissue, so we will mention all the four types of epithelial tissue. So the first one, squamous, then columnar, then cuboidal, and the last one, glandular. Okay, so these are the four types of epithelial tissue. Okay, and the nervous tissue, so is much more complex. Okay, so of course you have entire the neurons. Okay, the connection, the network of neurons. Okay, so which is doing the fantastic job. Okay, but overall, so these are our different types of animal tissue. Okay, and their subdivisions. Okay, just make sure that you remember each and everything. So keep revising, so keep practicing. So we'll just see this a complete summary video of animal tissue. So before showing you about KitKat. Okay, so on your screen now, so let us watch the animal tissue, the entire summary of animal tissue.
of nervous tissue.
Okay, yes, so very nice. Okay, very nice. I just love the concept of how they did the summary. Okay, at the end of the video. Okay, so they just did a complete entire flow chart of your animal tissue, and then they also mentioned about the key points. Okay, for you to remember. Okay, so very nice. So this was the entire summary of the animal tissue. Okay, so now with this, so we have completed the chapter called tissue. Okay, so finally, so this is where we end the chapter. Okay, so and as I mentioned, okay, so this Sunday, so that is September 27. So you have tissues test. Okay, so some of you asked me to start uh, a new chapter from chemistry. Okay, so whereas some of you have asked me to start from physics. Okay, so based on the request of majorities, I have decided. So what is the new chapter? So I'm gonna tell you tomorrow. Okay, so now it's time for us to go for the quiz. Okay, so I'm gonna show the game pin. Okay, so please enter this game pin and join the quiz. So regarding the project, okay, so I will tell you. Okay, so I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll also tell you the previous project marks also. Okay, so what is the new chapter? Okay, so that will be starting. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you tomorrow with the help of the clue. You will only identify the new chapter. Okay, so now quickly type www.kahoot.it and on your screen, there you go. This is the game pin. So enter this game pin and join the quiz. So super fast. Okay, so you please make sure that you're quick enough to enter this quickly and join the quiz. So I wish I could give some points for those who is fast enough to join the quiz. Okay, so that it motivates others also to join. Okay, so very good. So Krishna, Siddharth, and Sneha have joined along with Yash, Sri Gauri, Priyanka, Tanisha, Pranamya, Samruddhi, Dia, and many more. Oh my God. So now everybody is joining. Okay, so real fast. Okay, so last 10 more seconds. Okay, so please join quickly.